Hi and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Let's just take a moment's silence for all the haters, Karens and the trolls. That's enough. Be sure to check out the blooper reel at the end of the video, which is then followed by the end screen, where you will find more videos listed. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. Forgotten Something. This awesome short story is written by an unknown author. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of radio, FM mostly, but I occasionally will tune in to some AM stations. I live in Ontario, Canada, just about 50 kilometers north of Ottawa, the country of Canada's capital, in a small farming community, so there really aren't a lot of stations up here. But there are enough stations to keep you satisfied. I'll go on a long drive around these empty roads just to listen to the radio, though they are actually some of the best times I've had up here. I especially love listening to these AM stations when they talk about the universe, religion, nature and mysteries and such. One night I decided to go on another drive and listen to the radio. It was 6 PM and fall, so it was getting dark. So I brought a flashlight and my cell in case anything was to go wrong. I got into my Escape, started it up and drove out to my driveway and turned on the radio. Flipping through the stations, I came across one that was mostly static, but I could make out a faint voice. Curious, I decided to drive down a road I hadn't been on before to see if the signal would get stronger. And lo and behold, I was right. It started to become clearer. As I heard the voice, it was a man's voice, although it sounded like a different language. The only languages we have here are the slang farmers use and English, which is similar, ha 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 ha. I drove down this road as the sun went down. The signal became clearer, but at the same time the dark of night began to flow out from the sky and onto the road. I recognised the language. It sounded Russian. Thanks to my Russian history class I took. The man sounded scared. I could hear him yelling, but he wasn't directly at the microphone. He was in the room yelling for his life. Perhaps a loyal talk show host still explained to the listeners what was happening to him. But what was happening to him? I drove for about 10 minutes listening to this when I started to hear him scream. I jumped up out of my seat as I heard how loud it was. I quickly turned down the volume, but at the same time I tried to hear what he was screaming. He was screaming the exact same thing over and over. It sounded like he was saying, "My rookie." I had no idea what that meant, but whatever it was, he seemed shocked about it. I eventually got so disturbed I turned the radio off completely, turned my car around and was ready to go back home. As I was turning my car around, I began to hear a faint noise in the distance. I cautiously rolled down my window when I heard a deathly familiar sound. It was the man screaming. I thought to myself, he must be in trouble. I needed to help him. But what if he was being killed or questioned by someone and tortured? I began to feel sick. Either way, I don't want to be part of whatever is going on there. But I remembered that I had been chopping some wood yesterday for my parents, and I forgot to put the axe I used back in the tool shed. I got out of my car with my flashlight in hand and my cell in my pocket. I opened the trunk and picked through the junk until I found my axe. Am I really doing this? I thought to myself. Am I really going to take this axe and kill off whatever is in there? I really hadn't wanted to be a part of this in the first place, but I am the only soul around and that man needs help. It's not a coincidence that I happened to be around listening to the radio station he was broadcasting on. Luck is on his side. I began running down the road, illuminating my view with my flashlight. I came to a dead end with a small hill ending the road dead in its tracks. I'm getting closer, I thought to myself. I climbed up the hill and saw nothing more than a small building with a radio antennae on the roof in the near distance with one lit window. I crouched and began to watch as I heard the noise stop while going up the hill. For 5 minutes I heard absolutely nothing. He must have died. There is nothing I can do now. So I decided that I'll go back to my car and call 911 and explain to them what happened. Then, for a split second, I caught something in the corner of my eye. Scared, but curious, I decided to look back at the shack and I saw something standing in front of the lit window. It was just standing there. I couldn't make out what it was, but it wasn't moving. A chill ran down my spine as I realised it had noticed me. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't move. It let out a terrible scream as it began to move towards me. I got up and ran back, leaving the axe there. I ran back to the car. I arrived at my car and didn't bother to call the cops. Whatever it was, I had little confidence a cop would help. I drove back at speeds of about 50 kilometers on a 20-kilometer road. I made it to my house, got out and ran to the door. I opened it, locked it and proceeded to run to the guest bedroom in the basement, closed the door and shut my eyes. I woke up feeling extremely cold. I must have forgotten to turn on the furnace. So I went upstairs and saw that my door was in fact open. I was paralysed with fear, but I decided to look out my door. What I saw was a pale creature on 2 legs, holding a large burlap sack which looked like it was stuffed with body parts over its shoulder at the end of my driveway. It turned around and glared at me, then presumed to grin and walk down my street as it cackled with laughter. I closed the door and didn't bother locking it as I went to the kitchen and saw a bag and a piece of paper. I read what was written on the paper, which read, "Looks like you had forgotten something," with its face crudely drawn on the paper, grinning the same way it had earlier. As for the bag, inside it was the axe I had left on the hill. And I hope you enjoyed the blooper reel, as I had. But at the same time, I tried to hear what he was screaming. But whatever it was, am I really going to take the exact... I climbed up the hill and saw nothing more than a small building with a radio antennae on the roof. So I decided that I'll go back to my car. Whatever it was, I had a little confidence. I drove back with its face crudely drawn on the paper. Hey family, please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to chokehold that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. And by subscribing, you'll be the first to see all of our new spooky creepypasta stories. A very big thank you to the unknown author for allowing me to narrate this awesome story. Make sure to check out creepypasta.fandom.com for more brilliant stories. And be sure to take a look at the playlist here for more of their stories that I may have already narrated. I would just like to say a very big thank you to all of the authors that I have worked with, and all the ones that I will work with in the future. So thank you all, my brothers and sisters. And why not hashtag cryptidsroost in your comments. A quick thank you to all of my Cryptids Roost community family too. We are now well on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. So please spread the word and help us to grow and expand. And don't forget to share the videos too. If you would like to throw me $1 or 3, I'd be very much appreciative. I do have PayPal, paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Alternatively, I have an account at buymeacoffee.com. You don't even need to register on either site to donate. You can follow us at my Facebook group, Twitter and Instagram. I also have Ko-Fi and BitChute. I have a subreddit if you have a story you would like me to read for you. All relevant links will be below. And don't forget to check out the end screen, see above. That will also list some more videos in my back catalogue. Take care everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful and peaceful night. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.